Okay, guys, good afternoon. It's December 22, 2021. Today is a palindrome day, and I'd like to share that in the US, Christmas rally is really here. The markets in the US bottomed. However, this is the Philippine market update, so I'll give you the rundown on the Philippine markets today. So I'm sharing to you the WealthSec platform. You're seeing the Philippine index down 1%, 7,106. You're seeing actually a majority is in the red, not actually following the US markets. So let's take a look at the top traded names or the most active names. On the most active names, you've got on the top of the top 10, you've got Converge 32, SM Prime 34, Ayala Land 34, URC 130, Video 122, Ayala Corp 861, GD Cap 561, Jollibee 216, SM 943, SPNEC 113. So what you're seeing actually in the market is a lot of profit taking. Markets closing their books, markets actually taking profits all the way. So let's take a look at the index names here. Market valuation is pretty timid in the Philippines with just about 3.9 billion pesos for today, even after we're going to close near 3 p.m. So it seems as if also, by the way, if you're watching the Philippine markets, I think December 24 to December 31, the Philippine markets will mostly operate on a half day to of course commemorate the Philippine adherence of Christmas holiday. So in the US, December 24 and December 31 are trading holidays. You will not see market action on those days. Other than that, I think in the Philippines, the Philippine trading holiday is, sorry, it's not 24 and 31. It's 25 and 31. That means on the Christmas Eve, you do still have market action, although it's going to be very light and really low volumes. Now, of course, everyone in the Philippines are looking for the response. Okay, we've got the Odette, no, the largest typhoon, and you've probably seen a lot of the typhoon Odette PH. The typhoon Odette has really been a difficulty. Countries are offering aid, sharing sympathies after Typhoon Odette devastates the Philippines. You've got Iloilo City declaring a state of calamity due to Typhoon Odette. Government region is affected by Odette under the state of calamity. So Siargao resident recounts horrors of Typhoon Odette onslaught. So what you're seeing in the Philippine market, the reason why the Philippines is generally going against the grain for the overall global markets, because the US, for instance, the US is doing very well last night. I'd say that this is particular to the Philippine economy. As you know, like Dow Jones is up 560 points, Nasdaq is up 360 points, 1, 2, 3% moves. Very strong move on the US. This is actually a Christmas rally bottom. Santa Claus is here in the US. The only reason why the Philippines doesn't experience that Santa Claus is because the Philippines had Odette. The Typhoon Odette, really, it's a big problem in the Philippines. And so what you're seeing in the Philippines is major profit taking or even selling off across the board. So we've got 82 decliners, advancers are 88, unchanged with very few buying action. Foreign selling 1.8 billion. We are seeing actually that the response of the government or the response of the Filipinos itself is gonna be a huge sentiment indicator for these Odette moves. Okay, let's just read through the index here. No, what would benefit in Odette? I'd say that what would benefit is really a lot of consumption. We would have to rebuild, and that would mean not necessarily consumption per se, but rebuilding an entire country that was devastated, or at least those cities of Cebu, would mean that there will be some demand on Wilcon Depot there. So right now, Wilcon Depot, last 3 months, trading near $30 today. If it dips near 28 or 25, I'd say that we'll get some buy the dips money in Wilcon Depot. Another thing in my view that you will have to pay attention for, if the market is selling off because of the response on this Odette, the typhoon, the loss of lives and the loss of lot of spending yet again, destruction. Again, this is a climate change thing in the Philippines. Um, in general, no, we are seeing most active trades are actually on the sell off. Um, I would say that the market will look to have an excuse that They wouldn't be that bullish in the market. But what would you buy in a market that's bearish, no? Okay, in a market that's bearish, I'd say that stick to quality, as in telecom cash dividends. The problem with telecom cash dividends, even if we were saying that it's a buy, is that, well, PLDT is at 1800 today. So you might have a difficulty to buy at these levels. Try to see if you can enter 1750 below. I'll put it in your watch list. Just put it in your watch list. For the year to date, you'll see that we are closing the year end, and the markets aren't really necessarily going to close all their books in the sense that they're selling it all to cash. I'd say that you've got a lot of people still holding on to their telecoms. That outperformance will retain itself. Every dip on telephone and globe will be bought. Let's go to the analytics. Let's talk about the year-to-date gainers. Let's first go to the PSEI. Year to date, or roughly 12 months from now, 12 months. Okay, so the biggest winners in the Philippines, Converge 100%, that's a telecom, broadband connectivity. You've got Wilcon, that was related to construction. I'm a little bit hesitant on the PE multiples of Converge and Wilcon. So what you'll see here in the market is that the valuations have gone extreme as well for Converge and Wilcon. They did perform very well fundamentally, but I checked actually, Wilcon seems to be trading 3 times more expensive than the usual retail components, retailers. So be a little bit alert that Converge and Wilcon, this outperformance might be trimmed. You might be surprised it might fall next 2 to 3 months, not because of any company specific problem, but just valuation concerns. So Converge Wilcon really did well this year. You've got Asen doing very well, still 60% of this year. These three performers, although they are very well performing this year, the next 6 months might be a bit of a tricky move. I'd be arguing that Converge Wilcon Asen is actually being taken profits today. If you want to buy them, wait about 20 to 30% dips. If it doesn't happen, don't go in. Now, the Globe and Tel phenomenon, the growth there is, I think, fundamentally okay naman. In general, your top 10 movers this year, Converge, Wilcon, Asen, Globe, ICT Tel, AV, AP, Video BPI. In general, guys, I think the outperformance of your top 10 is merited. Okay, the PSEI gave them that big move, that's merited. But at the same time, if we're looking at a Fed rate hike next year, we have to be very careful of companies that aren't really giving dividends. And Converge, Wilcon, and Asen aren't giving dividends. ICT doesn't also give dividends, not a lot. So I think the only ones that will perform and retain those valuations would be Globe and PLDT. Aboitiz Power, a little, because Aboitiz and AEV didn't rally naman 50% for the year. So any dips of Aboitiz Equity Ventures and Aboitiz Power will still retain that strength. Now, on your top 20, rounding out, no, we're seeing AGI, Jollibee, Meralco, Metrobank, Ayala Corp, Robinsons Retail, Pure Gold, GD Cap, SM Prime, MPI. I don't agree too much on these names. I'm still wary of banks. I am, however, going to be contrarian on the Pure Gold theme here. Pure Gold 5% down this year might actually be a strong component next year, simply because of that stability status. You'll notice that Robinsons Retail rallied to about 66 naman from about 58 levels. We're arguing Robinsons Retail about 58 and 50, even when it fell about, was it 50 below pa? Yeah, here. I remember going contrarian and saying Robinsons Retail mas malaki upside nito rather than downside, right? So we are gonna continue to that theme, guys. Pure Gold here about 38, 5% down this year. You might see this actually give a 10% move next year. Not so bad. 38 going back to 43. That's your mean reversion. And then we'll see na. I don't know if you will get an outperformance on Pure Gold, pero I am skeptic of the underperformance, no? Meron naman cash flows kasi. Okay, index movers. Sige, let's go again to the analytics. Let's go to the stats, analytics. Index muna tayo. So 12 months. Okay, so among the ones that really were poor, no, laggard sila this year, you've got casinos, laggard pa rin. Airlines still laggard. To be honest, hindi pa ako magbabuy them. I would be going contrarian on them maybe after 3 months, 3 months or 6 months. I think there is a pressure for PSEI to show numbers and cash flows and earnings. Wala pa yan. I don't think there will be earnings. There will be recovery, pero let's wait for the first quarter muna before we nibble in. So yeah, so this is for the year. You could see that the index as a whole, the average gain, if you bought all 30 stocks, you're up 8% on the average for the last 12 months. This is something that I will be a little bit contrarian tayo guys sa URC and Monde Nissan. Monde is trading what? 15 bucks? Magkano ngayon? 15.84? If Monde Nissan hits 14.68, we'll go contrarian there. 15 below, sige. URC, if it falls 125 below, go contrarian here. URC, Monde Pure Gold, we will be contrarian on consumer staples because our view is the 2022 is a bear market defensive year for the Philippines. We will have a lot of people still trying to pivot to a world wherein the expectations of the market is strong recovery. Our my view is hindi naman yan strong recovery. It will be a sideways recovery, whether it be GDP, consumption spending. We've got this typhoon. It will be a contraction in our GDP. The market isn't pricing that in yet. So there's too much hope getting priced into the Philippine market. That's why my commentary in 2022, you've got relief rallies. You have to understand that Converge Wilcon, congrats if you got them. Converge Wilcon Asen, don't assume that momentum to continue further. It's been going up wildly, but I see that more as a profit taking zone. Okay, let's ask the questions. Hi, Nikki, is it good to buy Aboitiz Power today? Aboitiz Power is in the stable zone. I don't know what happened in the Visayas region. We know that Aboitiz Power has power plants in the Visayas region. I don't know the extent of the damage of Odette PH on Aboitiz power plants, no? If it falls, I think it will be a buying opportunity, but currently it's trading at 31. Maybe you want to wait it out. Let's try to wait. Baka makuha mo ng below 30. Nikki, thoughts on buying Dito SRO? The Dito SRO, magkano ba ang Dito SRO? Wait sorry, I'm not quite familiar. The stock price of Dito is, so the stock rights offering is an ability for the company to raise money, and it's gonna be dilutive to the current existing shareholders. This is what we were saying. That's why among the telecoms, there's a different movement on Dito Telecom simply because of this overhang. So it says here that the third telco is gonna start at 11 billion pesos existing shareholders. Dito is offering 1.69 billion common shares, indicative price of 4.88 to 688 a piece. Well, right now, din at 5 pesos. So that means that the market is not really, from the market sentiment low, dito talaga na stock split to. Teka, 5 siya. Sorry, ito is 5 peso. Yes. So the low is 5. The downside of Dito really is the overhang, guys. So you can see that Dito has been in a downtrend for the last 5 years na, no? After a peak of about 19, this 2021, ganito yung charting ko. Sorry guys, ang gulo ng chart natin. Sige. Ito na, tama na yung chart. Come on. Reload. Bakit ganito ang chart namin? Dito Telecom. So you can see that this is still, I'm not that confident. To be honest, hindi ako sigurado sa Dito Telecom. I'll just be staying out of it. Let's see na lang how the market response is. But it seems that the market sentiment, even on the rights offering, is not that good. Thoughts on Ayala Land, properties like Ayala Land and RLC. The market seems to be happy with the REITs. The market has bought the Ayala REITs. The market has supported the Robinson Retail REITs. So between Ayala Land and Ayala REIT, you can see clearly that the market shows they're more comfortable owning REITs for their long-term position. Ayala Land will be traded. While I'm bullish on Ayala Land at 31, 32, 33, these levels, I'm also not going to be aware when it will rally. So maybe it will even sleep here. I don't know. It's about 3 months maybe. As for the REITs of Robinson, what's the name of the Robinson REIT? Our The Robinson Retail REIT is Robinson's Land REIT is RCR. Okay, so RCR also got demanded, diba? Strong. What we've noticed in this year is that the market really is so bullish on REITs. This started at 7 ba? 645. So 6.45 Robinson REITs rallied all the way to about 743. What's that? It's more than 10% yield na. 10%. So happy yung market. I think like what's gonna happen for the entire year next year, they'll be supportive of all the REITs. Any dips, 10%, 5% yields, downtick of REITs will be bought. Whether it be the Ayala REITs, the Fly REITs, the Mega World REITs. What happened to the Filipinos is that they converted their cyclical companies like Mega World, Ayala Land, Robinson's Land into owning the REITs. So in terms of owning Ayala Land and Robinson's Land, you want to trade the range for them. Thoughts on buying Costco? Between all these companies, Costco, Pure Gold, Keeper Holdings, Costco has been in a perennial downtrend, no? For about how many years now? 7 years, was it? So, the biggest problem of Pure Gold has always been the fact that the corporate isn't parang it's like the market doesn't see clarity siguro. I don't know if it's the clarity ba, is that the problem? Kasi from a valuation perspective naman, Costco indeed is undervalued. But I think like what the market knows is that undervaluation can persist for about 5 years or 10 years. So who cares about valuation? So it's now being asked, no? Costco is down here about 5 pesos. Keeper Holdings is what? 1.6 below na, no? Below IPO, 1.32. The IPO was 1.68, 'di ba? So this is what? 30% below IPO. The negative sentiment is really just the charts. So I think like valuation wise, there's no problem but I cannot pin a buy simply because there's value. Undeniable value without response from the company. Either the company just buys the shares all and then just gives issue dividends. That would be a good thing. Tingnan natin. I know that Costco, Pure Gold, and Keeper have lots of good company, good brand. So I'm not bearish, but I'm not that aggressive to say, oh, bilhin na tayo. You advise holding DMC for the long term. At 4 pesos, I'd say a yes. Currently, DMC is trading at 7. You might not see a huge upside. Parang normal lang si DMC. You've got battle headwinds pa rin sa DMC when it comes to coal, no? So 9 went to 7. At $7, hindi ka safe here. Hindi yan undeniable value. I'd say that baka nga undeniable value, I'd still repeat my theme. Petron here about 3 pesos looks to me as an undeniable value. Cebu Pacific might be an undeniable value here at 42. Macro Asia here about 5 below might be undeniable value. And Nicolasia actually at 5 pesos. I might be talking my books here, pero at 5 pesos, Nicolasia is giving a dividend of as much as 3% every year. Laging may 15%, 15 cents yan. Look at the Nicolasia dividend history. Mataas dividend history, mataas yung 22 cents, 4%. Look at that, special cash dividends namigay. 20 cents, 20 cents, 20 cents, 60 centavos. That's 12% yield on Nicolasia this year. Add mo, sorry, sobrang dami pala to. 44 plus 23 plus 23, my God. 88 cents, 16% yield for the Nicolasia. Last year, 2020, gave 30 cents. 2019, 14 cents. Guys, I would stick with Nicolasia. Petron is not a dividend giver, sorry. Pero, kasi when I go out now, I notice the Philippines is not an electric country. So, asa ka pa na Tesla tayo. We might love Tesla, pero never tayo makakita ng Tesla sa buhay natin. I mean, in Philippines, it's gonna be 1 in a million. Siguro mga 1 in 10 years time. So, in the Philippines, I'd say go tayo sa mga ICE, internal combustion engines. That means that your Toyotas, your GT Caps is actually undervalued. undeniable value to me is those names. Piraulo, mga gulong-gulong dyan. People think that GT Cap's dead. No, no, no. I think like 550, 570, it's not dead. These might be the dark horse companies. GT Cap, Petron, Nicolasia, dividend hungry tayo. The REITs will stay fine. Any dips will be bought. The telecoms will stay fine. Any dips will be bought. Meralco, if it falls, we'll buy it. That's just my view. I could be wrong. Pero I think like the outperformance of some names should be a selling condition. Yun lang. Okay, so yun, looking back to this year in the Philippines has been a good year, in fairness, no? In fairness, all the problems, I think the market is already looking forward, kasi nga, the market is always hopeful, looking forward for reopening, recovery. If you are also bullish with the theme, bilhin mo na yung mga SEB habang down sila sa 42. All these spikes and variants, of course, that's not an assurance. 42 can go 40 pesos. But you want to buy something that's low. Now, I'm not very sure about the Bloomberry. Down siya 30% this year. I still won't pick it up. I don't know. Parang a part of me thinks that there's no, maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe wala lang talaga akong trust sa casinos for now. Thoughts on Monde? I like Monde, 15 below. I'm gonna go for consumer staples. I like the consumer staple as a safe haven. Assured tayo sa cash flows. The dividends aren't a lot. Nasa 1 to 2% lang yan, but I'm okay with that. Is Lusiotan Group ba giving a lot of dividends? Kasi I think like it's the dividends that will be the best name for the game eh. So Lusiotan Group 950, I think the only reason why Lusiotan Group is afloat here is dividends. Tama ba? LTG dividend history. The story for 2022 is dividends, no? Okay, dividends for LTG, piso. 80, yeah, nagbigay ng piso. So guys, 10% dividend si LTG at 950. Nung 2020, namigay din, magkano to? 50 cents, 65 cents, 80 cents. Yeah. In general, guys will buy LTG. People will buy Lusiotan Group. People will buy dividends like that. Lahat na mamimigay ng dividends gave yung yield. Pag bumili ka ng DMC. Kung 5%, may bibili pa rin naman. Let's see. Cash dividends of DMC is 50 cents, no? Sorry, piso. 15% yield. Oh my, ang laki pala niya papansin. Super laki pala niya magbigay. Yeah. Ay, kasi 50 cents lang dati eh. Tapos namigay ng 1 pala this year. So, I think like for the believers, kasi for me, as long as the company is giving dividends, may buyer yan on dips. So I guess 7 pesos if you want to buy DMC, okay lang. Monde is more gonna be a consumer staple favorite. Not so sure. I'm not so sure on all day. Are you still bullish with AP? Yes, I am. At 31, but at the same time, at 31, I wouldn't buy it yet. More on the fact that, I don't know, baka mamaya biglang na Black Swan pala yung AP sa Odette. Hindi ko meron ba? I really don't know any, kasi I know Aboitiz Power is very heavy in Visayas and Mindanao. And we know naman that Odette has really devastated the entire Siargao Island, devastated the entire Cebu. So there's actually apprehension, I think, on some people. Brownout na daw sila dun eh. I think, pero we'll see. Siyempre, crucial kasi ang power in the Philippines. So parang for me, if it dips below 30, I'm more of a buyer on Aboitiz rather than a seller. The news on Aboitiz has been very positive eh. I think I read the news, kaka-open lang nila ng another solar and renewable energy. Let's go to the news. Mga last month before tong Odette PH. Let's read this. Aboitiz Power is ramping up the power restoration in Cebu, switches on the Cebu diesel plant for recovery efforts, help restoration power in Cebu, taps the Japanese power firm for a solar project EPC deal, issued 10 billion peso retail bonds. Sa 4 na probinsya, wala pa rin power. Solar plant construction, 2 weeks ago lang. Kakalis lang ng 12 billion peso bonds on PDEX. Guys, yung mga ganyang news, parang wala akong nakikitang problema eh. If it falls, guys, contrarian buy on dips tayo dyan sa Boitis. Sige lang. 30 below, buy it up. Stepping up efforts, restore the supply of power in battered Cebu province. Bring back electricity service for consumers in the area. Japanese firm, kakatap lang niya. Last 2 weeks lang, it's December 16 lang. Last week lang, sorry. Ito meron siya, nag-contract na sila, solar farm sa Pangasinan. Guys, ako, for me tinulak yung ASEN. Alam naman natin, $10. Para sa akin lang naman, kung kinaya yung tulakin yung ASEN ng ganun, kakayanin din ng market on $30 na to na Aboitiz Power, tutulakin yan. Hindi ko alam gaano kataas, 40, 50. But I will be more on the wait and wait and wait. If it falls 25, 26, it's a buy. 28, it's a buy. And of course, if you're a solar fan, I know SPNEC went up. But the thing is, unlike the others, kasi ano na to may deal na to. Ayan solar plant construction. And they actually already contracted. May experience na kasi, may track record. So I'm not there for the big jump of the move. I'm just gonna go for ayoko kasi masyado yung concept kasi for me yung Solar Philippines versus Aboitiz Power. Eto na, Cebu needs it. Eto na kami. Cebu needs power. Andito na kami. So I'll go for Aboitiz Power here. Okay, so that's all. I hope to see you again next year. December 29, next week, Wednesday, I will have an 8:30 p.m. Market update, but this is gonna be more like a year-ender report ko na yan for the global market for 2021. Would like you guys to listen if you wish. Ang daming Christmas rally opportunities in the US. Inviting you all to listen to that global market update next week, Wednesday. I'm gonna do it. 28, I'm gonna do an interview with other market participants. Mag-US topic kami, 8:30 p.m. 29 is gonna be a global year-end report. Baka i-live stream na lang namin yan. 28, 29. Yun. Wishing you all a happy holiday. No matter what, please remember, try to help out our fellow citizens in the Philippines who are really badly stricken with the Siargao Island. Remember in your Christmas giving, diba? Give something, whatever it might be, whether it's 200 pesos, 1,000 pesos, up to you how much. It's not a lot to help. Merry Christmas, guys, and advance happy holidays. Do your part. That's it. Thank you.